To the weekend, wondered about the game, and we come out, and it's official. The 49ers are now the Super Bowl favorites, and Brock Purdy's the MVP favorite. That's what happened over the weekend. 49ers absolutely pummeling the Philadelphia Eagles, 42-19, Guru.
Man!
Great vintage day for the Niners, for all their players, their fans. The numbers were spectacular. And now they're right there when it comes to home field advantage for the playoffs.
Yeah, and all they need now is a little help, but they helped themselves. And I got to tell you, I made a couple phone calls on you this morning, and my goal today was to get you to say that Brock was in the MVP conversation and that the Niners, if somebody said they got the look of a Super Bowl champ, that was my goal. And I didn't even have to do anything because you did it. But yesterday, Steiny, let's not act like there wasn't any turbulence, because they started off slow. McCaffrey wasn't getting the ball, and they were down 6-0. We had the thread going, and kudos to the Niners defense for holding tight, keeping the Eagles out of the end zone, because the Eagles drove down the field twice, post routes, in routes, and I'm like, oh, boy, what's going on here? And my goodness, Steiny, it was like a boxer in a prize fight. They withstood the flurry from the Eagles, which was the first two drives, got their footing, and showed the world they're not just a one-man gang on both sides of the ball. But Deebo Samuel reminded everybody, Steiny, just how he was the Niner offense before McCaffrey. Brock grew up before our eyes if you look at the numbers. And I don't know what to say but this, and I felt this way going in. This is the best team to me right now in the NFL. That was a hell of a win.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. They were the best team after 5 games. They weren't the best team after 8 games. And now after 12 or 13 games, it looks like they're the best team in football again. I've been saying it all year. It doesn't matter till the playoffs come. I mean, I think that game yesterday shows you that it's not about saying, oh, I'll play and this could have been different. But it just goes to show you, the only chance the Eagles had was to get a touchdown in one of those first 2 scores.
Man.
Once it was 6-0, and you dominate a quarter like you're dominating, but you're only up 6-0, and then boom, you're down 7-6. So you have 13 minutes of possession in the first quarter. The second quarter starts and you're down 1. That's a gut punch, and it's a credit to the Niners for keeping them out of the end zone early.
Yeah.
And they did that, and they kept it a 1-score game.
No doubt about it. In the secondary, Steiny, not Bosa, everybody had a good game, but the secondary stood out to me because you saw Jalen Hurts, of his 45 pass attempts, he had some time. And we saw defensive backs from the Niners. I mean, it was like art, turning their head around, sticking their hand out. And I was like, well, damn, I thought that was a weak link of the team going into this game. Philly couldn't take advantage. And again, my only thing, Steiny, was early on the first quarter, I felt like McCaffrey wasn't being featured. I didn't know what was going on with Kyle. And that made the greater better, because I'm sitting here like, oh boy, this thing could get ugly. They might have to abandon ship and just throw it all around the yard. But Brock Purdy kept his poise. I mean, 314 yards, Steiny. Get this, and we talked about it. 4 touchdowns. Deebo Samuel just not wanting to be tackled, and the Eagles got a problem in between the numbers. They cannot stop teams in the middle of the field, and Kyle and company took advantage. And I just want to know how 49er fans feel, Steiny, because this ain't about being a homer, but as a fan, you got to believe this Eagle team hadn't lost at home. They pull rabbits out of their hat, and you're the team to go in there and beat them down with the personal stuff that was going on, because the Niners, I don't got to tell you this, went Will Smith. Did you see him come into the stadium dressed in black?
No.
So it was men in black. That was their theme. Deebo, Warner in black, and they kicked their ass. This is incredible, man. They put everybody on notice, and the key word is what you said. Right now, this is the best team in the NFL.
888-957-9570 is the number. Where are your 49er fans? This is a game we talked about all year long, and your team comes out and wins 42-19. And it really wasn't much of a contest after Deebo Samuel's touchdown that made it 28-13. Eagles were hanging on by a thread at 21-13 after they scored a touchdown. Niners come right back. Niners scored 14 points in the second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. Plain and simple, the Eagles couldn't stop them. 888-957-9570 is the number. From the 650, what is Harry going to say now? Harry, of course, the third member of our show. Well, Harry says...
well, he's happy.
He's ecstatic.
Yeah.
He's been saying Brock Purdy's a good quarterback, that we need to stop talking about Brock Purdy as a good quarterback. He is a good quarterback. Let it there. Doesn't mean he's going to have great games, 17 out of 17. But he's like, man, in fact, he did say something.
I'll give it to us.
He said,
little critique.
He wanted to know if you'd ask for Sam Darnold to come into the game after the first two drives. That's
Harry.
all.
Sam, barring injury, your boy threw 4 tugs, man.
And 2 3-and-outs to start, but the 49ers came back, and then they were a completely different team.
And what about third down, though? Purdy, they were masterful on third down, but that's when they took advantage of Philly's weak linebacker play or whatnot. But third down and Ayuk coming up with big catches. The Niners, Steiny, I mean, they didn't get going into the second quarter. So 15 minutes of football went by, and I'm like, oh, man, is there PTSD from this team? Is Brock, what's going through his mind? Is he seeing ghosts early on? And to score 6 touchdowns on 6 consecutive drives on the road, that was what you call a thumping.
888-957-9570 is the number. 49ers, just a great game. 42-19, they hammer the Philadelphia Eagles. And we could also – can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So I go on – get ready for the drop. This morning, I went on KTVU to talk about the 49ers game. And the first 2 questions about Dom, the security guy.
Big Dom.
Who cares?
Dom DeSandro.
What about him?
Our world he's a folk hero now.
How? He's a security guard.
And how do you get thrown out for a guy that's not in uniform? Well, Steiny, they love him, though. Philly fans love him now.
Why?
Because he's one of them, and he stood up. I didn't like it. And they kicked their ass after losing Greenlaw. But, Steiny, this is the world we live in.
I'm not a big Dom fan.
Yeah, he's like Rocky in Philly now. I'm just telling you.
Rocky didn't get knocked out.
Well,
Rocky didn't get taken out of the game.
He took one for the team.
Rocky didn't get punched and then not throw any punches back. Out of here,
I couldn't believe Greenlaw went. You saw the Draymond meme.
I didn't even mind.
That's pretty good.
I was telling him,
stupid.
Why do you have a guy? So he's
security.
So he's Philadelphia Eagles security, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, which means the NFL's got to approve all the security people. You can't just hire security without the NFL's acknowledgement. Why doesn't the guy wear an NFL hat?
Yeah.
Why does he wear an Eagles hat?
But just to get into it,
he's employed by the Eagles.
Yeah, but I know he is. But by the same
token,
of
security.
Those guys have to. Those guys
advisor
have
to the general manager.
Well, he shouldn't be on the sidelines then. Yeah. I got a problem with that.
And the Niners, you talk about a trade-off.
How are you supposed to know he's a security guy? Like, how are you supposed to know that?
On the sideline.
Yeah, and he's also was the slowest.
Dude, that was pretty good, man. You're telling me he got Greenlaw thrown out. I was like, oh, boy. The Eagles scored after that, made it 21-13. I'm like, is momentum, please. I mean, they took it to Philly, Steiny, and now I know it's about the euphoria of the Niners just having playmakers on every level of their defense. McCaffrey, Brock Purdy now, Kittle. They all made contributions, man. And then what about the hit early on that just – I don't want to say it set the tone, but when you saw Swift get cracked on the first play of the game, I was like, that's something right there. I'm writing it down. But then the Eagles went down the field, didn't get in. I commend the Niners secondary, man. I mean, Jalen Hurts, again, Steiny had time to throw. Either nobody was open, he didn't trust what he saw, but every time you saw a pass from Hurts to an Eagles receiver, a Niner was just textbook playing the ball, turning your head around. I mean, I don't know where the Niners go for here. You got to handle business, but you talk about big head. I mean, they've earned it, and it ain't just us at this station. I mean, the world's looking at this team if you didn't already think. But, Steiny, right now, the Niners are the big man on campus.
888-957-9570 is the number. 49ers 42, Eagles 19, and the 49ers pull within one game of the Philadelphia Eagles.